Hello on Milwaukee. Happy Monday. You can see that I'm dressed in my Monday best. Hope you're all having a good start to the week so far today. And you know, it's a great way to start the week on the right foot, watching a Milwaukee Film Festival movie. The Milwaukee Film Festival is on day 12, a whole dozen days of the Milwaukee Film Festival. Hopefully, you've been checking out the films. If you've been watching anything that you've liked or disliked so far, let me know in the comments. Love to chat with you about movies. I watched one last night. I watched The Last Matinee, a horror movie out of the Cinema Hooligante collection. Oh boy, what a fun, nasty piece of slasher work that movie is, and I gotta say, gorgeous. Like, it was fun because it's a scary movie, a slasher movie about a bunch of people in a watching a movie in a kind of divey movie theater, movie palace. Looks incredible. Like, I want to be in movie theaters watching that movie. Um, and I can't imagine what it's like watching a movie like The Last Matinee in a theater, where it's a movie about a serial killer running around the theater, killing people brutally while they're watching a movie. And I can't imagine what it's like sitting in a movie theater being like, oh boy, sure hope that doesn't happen to me here. But thankfully, you get to watch it from home right now. mkefilm.org to buy passes and tickets. I have a weirdly plugged nose right now. Stupid allergies. I hate them. That's why you should stay inside and watch movies from the Milwaukee Film Festival, because the allergies can't get you when you're inside. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with The Last Matinee. It is not for the squeamish. If you do not like blood or gore, do not watch it. It is wildly violent. It is gross and unpleasant in a lot of cases, and a lot of people get murdered real bad. But if you are into those things, if you do like gory horror movies and Giallo and all the Dario Argento and stuff like that, you gotta check out The Last Matinee. It's a good time, and it's really well shot. Genuinely, there's like a shot of the killer trying to, like, a kid spills all of these candies all over the place, and there's a shot of the killer with a little red ball in his hand, in his gloved hand, handing it to the boy, and you're like, what a great creepy shot. I'm pretty sure it's a homage, but if you're gonna homage well, and they homaged well. Ugh, should have had Kleenex for this video. Anyways, my picks for today start with a trip back to high school, which I guess is on point today, considering, in Milwaukee, we just got the news of the opening day headliner at Summerfest is going to be Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day, aka the middle school, high school playlist of dreams. So let's join Summerfest and going back to high school with my first pick called Try Harder, a documentary following a bunch of seniors and juniors at San Francisco High School who are trying to get into the best colleges and trying to, pursue their dreams and their futures. The documentary kind of uncovers the kind of growing pressure on kids now in school, where they talk about, back in the day, a B was good enough to get you into Berkeley or to get you into a nice school. And nowadays, it's like you got to get the A, you got to get a perfect GPA, you got to have all the extracurriculars, you have to have the right extracurriculars, you have to have the perfect essay, you have to do well in the SAT and the ACT, and you're demanding perfection and demanding so much of these kids who really the point of this all should be to learn and to grow their minds and to develop these kids and to open the door to their future, not stress them. And also, they're kids. These are high schoolers. These are people who still are getting into the world and discovering new things. They should be young and happy and joyful, and the current system just kind of really grinds these kids into the ground. And this documentary tries to find that balance of how these kids are trying to still be kids, trying to be teens, trying to enjoy their life and enjoy the best years of their lives, while also under all this pressure to be perfect and to try harder and to get the perfect grades and to do all the perfect things. And it's to get into the ideal colleges, because as one kid points out in the trailer, if he doesn't get into the right school, he can't do what he wants to do in life. which I think he's like some sort of, science person and stuff like that. And it's like, if I don't get into MIT or to UCLA or Berkeley or, all these fancy schools, like I will not be able to do what I want to do. And that's a depressing thing to say as a 17-year-old or 16-year-old. Like, it's very, like, that's an insane amount of pressure. So this documentary goes into that. Anyone who's ever been in class, anyone who's ever been in school, I remember back in my high school days being so stressed out and just so on the edge. And even in college, like, I don't know, like, our education system, we got to have a talk about it. But very interested to watch that documentary. Try harder. The next one on my list is called This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection, which is quite the title for a movie. But it is also apparently quite the movie. I don't know if any of you follow Bilga Abiri on Twitter. You should. If you're a big movie lover, you definitely want to read Bilga Abiri. He's one of our best movie writers. He writes about movies so well. I think he's kind of like the new Roger Ebert, where Roger Ebert had a way of talking to people about movies in an unpretentious way and talking about what he loved about movies and in a way that really made people want to see these movies and see what Roger Ebert saw in these movies. And he enjoyed movies that people would think of as lesser. He enjoyed movies that people would think of as pretentious. He always met the movie on their level and then met readers on their level when talking about what makes these movies special. Never condescending, but always wanting to talk to them about what he loved about a movie and what he hoped people saw in that movie. And Bilga Abiri does a lot of the same stuff. He's a great writer. He's at Vulture, The New Yorker. Highly recommend his writing. He's awesome. But he said that This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection is the first cinematic masterpiece of 2021. And when somebody says that, like, I don't agree with him on everything, but when a critic I appreciate and respect calls something the first masterwork of the 2021, I guess I got to seek that out, and it's about this woman. What country does this take place in? I want to double check that. It takes place in Lesotho, South Africa, kind of, and it is about this woman who is being basically pushed out of her home and out of this very important land to make room for a new development. And it's about her kind of fighting back. And if you watch the trailer, it's gorgeous. Like, it's very kind of these painterly frames and these particularly framed images that are just beautiful and gorgeous. A lot of purple, a lot of colors, just the kind of movie that you watch and you watch the trailer and you're like, I need to watch all of this. Like, this is just hypnotically beautiful to look at. It's a weird title. It's a strange looking movie. The vibe of the trailer is almost horror movie-esque. But I guess, losing your home, losing your sense of place is horrifying on many levels. So highly recommend checking out This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection. According to Bilga Abiri, the first masterwork of 2021. So very exciting that it is here at the Milwaukee Film Festival. Remember, you can buy tickets and passes at mkefilm.org. The festival is going on through Thursday, so you still have 4 days to check out an awesome movie at the film festival. I've been doing these picks every day, so you can check out one of my 3 to see from the past 12 days. You can check out my 12 must-sees that I wrote up at the beginning of the festival. Reposted that as well today on outofmilwaukee.com, so you can check that out. There's been really great stuff. Like I think I said this yesterday as well. I haven't seen a movie I've hated yet. I was disappointed by The Pink Cloud, and I didn't love Cowboys. I thought it was pretty good. It felt like a first draft. I feel like there's a version of that movie that's incredible and great. And it just needed another draft to really deepen the movie. But it's still super great and super watchable. It's a super nice movie. But I've loved Red Heaven, Gunda, Some Kind of Heaven. Just a lot of really great stuff that I highly recommend checking out. And another one, this is a movie that I actually had no idea about at the start of the festival. And someone actually recommended this movie to me. Someone that I trust. Shout out to that friend out there. That person gave a great recommendation for a movie called Beans. Cool Beans. Just regular beans. um, which is based on a true story. It's a Canadian story. And last year had one of my favorite movies of the year, the 20th Century, a Canadian movie. So Canada, keep sending us your movies. But this is a very different style of movie. This one is about a young 12-year-old girl who gets involved in the kind of warring between the communities, these Mohawk communities, and the government that's kind of trying to like nudge them around and stuff like that. Really fascinating story told through a kid's eyes, played at the Toronto Film Festival and got really solid reviews out of there. Sounds really interesting, really compelling. The young actress is, I don't want to, I feel like Kiwan Teo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, just a really interesting, and it's all based on a true story too. So if you love those kind of like based on a true time stories, learning more about the stories the world has to offer, Beans is based on a true story about these, children who got the standoff. Looks really interesting. Kind of looks like a more, I don't want to call it action packed, but a little bit more of a tense version of Leave No Trace a little bit. Where it's these people kind of living in a forest and being pushed around by the government on some level. Very interested in checking that one out. So those are my recommendations for today. We got Beans. We got This Is Not a Burial, It's a Resurrection, and we have Try Harder. 3 very different movies. I've been really trying hard to show the diversity of films each day at the Milwaukee Film Festival, because you can find a horror movie, you can find a documentary, you can find a feel-good story, you can find a romantic comedy, you can find anything at the Milwaukee Film Festival, and that's why I've picked 3 movies here. Like one is a very like artistic, painterly drama. One is a based on a true story, and one is a documentary about kids in school. Like it's a bunch of. I talked about The Last Bat Day, which is a very gory, violent horror movie. So you can find just about anything at the Milwaukee Film Festival, and you still have 4 days to find your new favorite movie. So highly recommend checking out the Milwaukee Film Festival. Again, it runs through Thursday. Definitely check it out. It's awesome. And join me here, noon o'clock, every day here on onmilwaukee.com through Thursday. I will give you 3 more recommendations every day. I'm going to do like a little triple feature tonight with a bunch of Milwaukee Film Festival movies, so I'm very excited about that. And be sure to join tomorrow. I'll be interviewing the producer and the director and the star of the documentary Holy Frit, which is a documentary about a stained glass installation, I believe in Kansas. Very excited to chat with them about their film and learn more about the filmmaking process and the process of installing stained glass in Kansas and the drama that goes with that, which is a lot of fun. So be sure to join around noon tomorrow. We'll talk with them, and I will have a bunch of more special guests throughout the Milwaukee Film Festival. So enjoy it. You only got 4 days left. See as much as you can. It's awesome. It's movies at home. Really good movies. There's very few bad ones. I have not seen one yet. Bye, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow right here at noon. Have a great Monday, if that's possible.